Hello, hi, and assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to talk about history, what it is, how to study it, what is the nature of history, and what are the different views about history of many people around the world. So the first thing that we see in history is actually it is the story of a man. History is the story of man, right? It is the study of the life of man, the study of the life of man in society, in the past, and in relation to present development and future hopes. Um, History is an inquiry to the past based on evidence. Clear? Um, Evidences are actually important. They work as the raw material of history um, when you are teaching it or when you are learning it. Clear? So it is a raw material, and it's the most important thing in the study of history. Clear? History is also an inquiry to the inevitable changes in humans' affair in the past, um, an inquiry into the inevitable changes in the past. Clear? And it is also the study of how these changes in the past affected, influenced, or determined the patterns of life in the society, and how these changes uh, brought uh, differences in the behavior of the people before and after. Clear? So it is actually an inquiry into study of those changes. History is also uh, concerned with rethinking. Like, you do not study history only for the sake of knowing the facts. It's actually rethinking the past. History is rethinking the past. You do not only study history in order to know or in order to learn facts, it's more about thinking. Something that happened in the past, why did it happen? And if it had not happened, what would have been the result otherwise? Clear? So it's also about rethinking the past. Clear? If you want to have the background of religion, of customs, of administration, of culture, you need to have history. Without history, this background knowledge of all these spheres is impossible. Clear? Without history, you cannot even imagine to go for these things. Clear? Um, History actually presents a cause and effect relationship. Clear? It presents a cause and effect relation between the past and the present. Clear? How present is caused by past, and what is the effect of that cause that we are seeing in the present. Clear? History is also the analysis and interpretation of human past. Clear? is the analysis. It is not only mere description of the event, clear. It analyzes the past. It is the interpretation of the human past, and it enables us to study the continuity and changes that are taking place over time, clear. It is not mere reading, it is also investigation and imagination, clear. History is the act of both investigation and imagination that explains how people have changed over time, clear. When we talk about evidences, there are different forms of evidences, clear. um, so you can uh, you can relate history to different forms of evidences. For example, you can get evidences uh, from objects, from oral communication, from buildings, from artifacts, from photographs, from paintings, and so many other forms can help you understand what history is, clear. When we consider history as a subject or as a field, so it is considered to be the mother or the queen of all the social sciences, clear. History is the queen or mother of all the social sciences, clear. It is actually the basis, it is the base of all subjects of study which fall under the category of humanities and social sciences, right. It is also the basis of philosophy, politics, economics, and even art, and even religion, clear. So you need history for studying all these things. um, it is actually considered to be the most important subject of humans life, clear. When we talk about the term history, it is having an origin from Greek, clear. The origin of the word history is associated with the Greek word historia, right. Historia, and historia means information, or it means an inquiry designed to elicit truth, right. Okay, then there are different definitions of history by different authors, clear. The first author that we are going to talk about is Berkat. The spelling of his name is a little bit different. Berkat, clear? He writes that history is the record of what one age finds worthy of note in another. Let me write it. History is the record of what one age finds worthy of note in another. Clear? You might have seen that history of a nation or of a country or of people is not mostly written by the people of that age. Clear? It is mostly written by the age that comes after it or the age that follows it. Clear? So it is the record of one age which finds to note something worthy of another age. Clear? That's what Burkett says. There is another author by the name Henry Johnson. Henry Johnson. What Henry Johnson thinks is history in its broadest sense is everything that ever happened. Clear? History in its broadest sense is everything that ever happened. Clear? So everything that ever happened is history. Um, whatever we see yesterday was history. Whatever we said, whatever we did, whatever we thought, whatever the result of an action was, everything that ever happened was history by Henry Johnson's belief. Clear? Then there is Smith, V.S. Smith. What he thinks about history is that the value and interest of history depend largely on the degree in which the present is illuminated by the past. Clear? To make it clear, I will write it. The value and interest of history. The value and interest of history depend largely, sorry for my slow typing because I'm not that fast in typing, but I'll try my best to type it fast. Sorry, the value and interest of history depend largely on the degree in which the present is illuminated by the past. Okay, so the way you if you talk about the value and interest of history, clear, so it actually is the description. It depends upon the description, how you represent present in the light of past, how has present been related to the past, and in that relation what is the present, how is present the outcome of the past, and how do we illuminate it. Clear? um, then we have Rapson, another writer, another author. Rapson, what he believes is that it is history is a connected account of the course of events or progress of ideas. Clear? History is a connected account of the course of events or progressive ideas. Clear? So all the events are connected. Clear? One event is connected to another, and one event is the cause of another, and another is actually the cause of another. So these events are interwoven. They are like one way or the other interconnected. Clear? One event paves the way for another, and the process goes on. Clear? Then there is another author by the name Ensert. Clear? And Ensert believes that history is the scientific study of past happenings in all their aspects in the life of a social group in the light of present happenings. Clear? Let me write it. History, sorry if I mistype some words. History is the scientific study of past happenings in 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 all the in all their aspects in the life of a social group. In the life of, let me please read it once again. History is the scientific study of past happenings in all their aspects in the life of a social group and in the light of present happenings. Clear? That's what history, according to Ansett, is like. It is the scientific study. Why do we call it scientific study? Is because it is always about. History is always scientific. It is always based on facts. Clear? If something does not have fact, you cannot include any imaginative idea into it. Clear? Like you cannot imagine history. You always have to describe it. It is never about prescription, it's always description. Clear? So you always describe history. So it is actually the systematic and scientific study of past happenings, whatever happened in the past. Clear? In every aspect, if it is social, if it is political, if it is religious, if it is economic, or any aspect. Clear? In the life of a social group, you can talk about a social group, a society, a nation, and in the light of present happenings. Clear? So one way or the other, history talks about the relation between the past and the present. So past is never detached from present and vice versa. Okay, I hope this point is also clear. And then there is another writer, another author, Nehru. What Nehru believes is, he says that history is the story of man's struggle through the ages against nature and the elements, against wild beasts and jungle and some of his own kind who have tried to keep him down and to exploit him for their own benefit. Um, what do we mean by this is that it is the struggle, how humans struggle in the jungle of life against nature, against whatever was part of the nature, whatever became our enemy, whatever turned against us, and humans struggle against that. So history is actually the study of that struggle against the nature, against the elements of nature. Clear? Let me write it. History is the study of man's struggle through the ages against nature and the elements. Clear? So from all these definitions, these definitions actually explain history as an important records of events of the past and the meaningful story of mankind, depicting the details of what happened to man and why it happened. Clear? So it mainly deals with human world, right? Thank you very much. Take a very good care of yourselves. Have a good time. Goodbye.